good. We're gonna get rolling, yeah.
Yeah, 3-0. Firmino just scored.
Okay. All right. Just if you heard there, 3-0 to Liverpool, but we're not bothered about that. We're bothered about this man to my right or to your left, whichever way you look at it. Melvin Minter, man. What's going on, brother? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Listen, I haven't seen you in a while, man. But obviously,
Yeah,
big things happening, man. Like, talk to me. How you feeling, man? First of all, as well, congratulations. I must say, congratulations, brother.
thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, look, talk to you about the journey as well that's leading up to this point, because I come across you maybe about just over a year ago. I think the first game I came and seen you play was against Beatties. Obviously, when you was playing for Rising Ballers, and Rising Ballers won, obviously. But talk to me, obviously, before that, because obviously you've been goalkeeping more than a year, haven't you?
Yeah, so do you want to start on my journey?
Start the journey, bro. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so I've been playing football from the age of 6 or 7 years of age. I think it was 7 years of age when I was in year three. My grandmother introduced me into football, and she just told me that I was just catching footballs at home and really enjoyed it. And she took me to like a sort of controlled environment where it was an after school club and it was like a football session. And it was closer to where I lived in Tottenham. And from there, just loved just playing football and then just excelled from there really.
So you're always going to be a goalkeeper, because sometimes I always hear like, you started off as a striker, then you moved back and all the rest of it. But sounds like you was like a goalkeeper from early,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I was always a goalkeeper. I was always like, it was weird because I was a goalkeeper, but I did play outfield like in the school playground and stuff as well. I was very comfortable with the ball at my feet. Like it was just a natural thing for me. So like, in the school playground, I was playing outfield, um, but on a Sunday league and stuff, like playing in goal. So that's where I saw myself in terms of the future of like my position from young.
Okay. And then from there, like, who was your first club that you first played for? Like, first grassroots club ever?
I think it was Edmonton Rangers when I got to year seven. So I
Uh,
didn't actually play Sunday League until I was year seven, was about 11 years old. Yeah. So I didn't play Sunday League until I was going to like after school clubs, playing in the school playground throughout my whole primary school, playing with friends after school and stuff in the park and stuff. But I remember year seven was my first. I can't remember how I got into the side and how the dynamics was. It was ages ago, but I think it was an involvement of my mum, and she that's where the journey started in terms of Sunday League and grassroots.
okay. So Edmonton Rangers there. Was he tall for your age? I'm guessing as a goalkeeper, or was he?
Yeah, I was quite leggy, quite skinny, and yeah, tall for my age. Yeah, in inverted commas. Yeah.
Okay. So by that standard, like usually if you're tall, they either stick you at the back or say they stick you in goal. Is that it? Obviously, you had
Yeah,
as well, right?
I think like when you're tall, like you're always gonna play in the center of the pitch. So you play up top, or you play in centre mid, or you play at the back, or you play in goal. You've got that goalkeeping ability. So for me, like it just went hand in hand in terms of playing in goal, and yeah, that was pretty much like the start of the journey of like just working my way up really.
Okay. And then obviously you said Edmonton Rangers at first. So talk to me about the journey from there. Like, who did you play on from there? Did you stay with them for a couple of years, or?
Yeah, so I was with Edmonton Rangers for about 3 years. So from year seven to year nine. So year seven, year eight, year nine. Also in between, I played for like a district team. So where I went to school was in Enfield, and that's in London. And there was a district team that we played against, like different academies and stuff. We played against like Arsenal, Chelsea, etc. And it was like a lot of boys from that borough that come together in the same age group as a team, like district. And then yeah, like after Edmonton Rangers went to Broadwater Farm. So Broadwater Farm are based in Tottenham, North London, if people don't know. Was there for a season, had a very good season there. And then from there, I went to Interwood FC. And Interwood are based in Walthamstow, so next to Arsenal's academy ground. That was when I was in year 11. So yeah, that's pretty much what the secondary school journey was.
So how was that like being so close to Arsenal's ground? it's almost like you can see like the future, like right there. It's within touching distance. Like, how was that, bro?
Yeah, it was like it was. I was in awe all the time. Like I didn't know any players from Arsenal at the time, but like always walking past, getting on the bus. We had to walk past it to go to training. So our actual training center called Peter May was next to, literally right next to the academy training ground. So like, yeah, it
Oh,
was
I know
always
it.
amazing.
Yeah, my cousin lives near Peter
Yeah,
May Sports.
yeah, Peter May. That's where we always used to train. So like, it was amazing. Like just going past it and just seeing like having a look from the outside in, like what was required to really prevail. So like, yeah, it was a good eye opener, to be honest.
Okay, and then obviously stepping outside of secondary, outside of school, what was the next jump from there? Who was the next club from there? Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's come back in now. I was saying like,
So
so after
yeah,
secondary school, yeah, the jump from there.
so year 11 is when I got a trial at Oxford United, and that was the first professional football club that I had signed for. I'd been on trial at different professional football clubs before that throughout my secondary school time, but wasn't successful in earning a contract. So thankfully, as I'd like pretty much finished my GCSEs, I signed there, and I lived in Oxford for a year in digs and stuff. So yeah, that was first year. That was the sort of the aim, because in year 11, I remember sitting down with a school counsellor, and my mum was telling me like, it's either you're going to college or you get signed by a professional football club, and I was so determined to try and get signed by a professional football club, and thankfully I got the opportunity at Oxford United, and that was the first time I'd moved away from home. Had to be like really accelerate my maturity, and yeah, it was a good experience. So I went straight into an academy when I left school.
That's mad. Like leaving home at such a young age as well, having to fend for yourself and do it,
Yeah,
cooking
yeah,
and right. You have to do all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, quite a bit, because like I was living in digs, so like the football club had employed a family to pretty much. I was staying with a family. That's pretty much what digs was. So they were cooking majority of my meals. Anyways, I was like cooking meals here and there, getting food at the training ground and stuff. So like it was the first experience away from your family, and yeah, like if that's part and parcel of what you're trying to achieve, like then you have to be dedicated towards the cause.
Yeah, I hear that. And then so from Oxford, then obviously you said you spent a year. What happened from there?
So I didn't get an extended scholarship, and I went to Hayes and Yedden. Hayes and Yedden back then were in they call it the National League now, but it used to be called the Conference South. So the Blue Square South, I think. And yeah, had a lot of representatives that gave me broken promises, and things never materialized. So I went to Hayes and Yedden and played for the under 18s for a season and the reserves, and was on like the fringes of the first team, but never in and around. I changed it a few times, but never in the first team or anything. Done like outstanding for them, and it helped to raise my profile when I got a call up for the England schoolboys. So me getting a call up from the England schoolboys, the manager at Hayes and Yedden was the England schoolboys, one of the coaches there. So it was a bit of leverage, but I started to go through like a trial process and really earn that sort of spot within the squad. So yeah, that was an amazing experience. Like going to Italy for a tournament and playing against different countries. So yeah, like that was amazing.
That's sick. That's sick. So England schoolboys, Hayden, you in like you're starting to find your feet within football. Oxford United, where you first started out. So obviously, what happened to there with the journey? Did you continue to obviously go up, or how did it go from there?
Yeah. So from there, because I'd done very, very well, Brentford were looking at me for quite a while, and Brentford were in League One back then, and yeah, I ended up signing there. So they had it's now called a B team. Before it was called under 21s. So yeah, like signed for their 21s, and was just with like fellow professionals, and was just playing like under 21 games against different academies and stuff. And yeah, that was amazing. And the club was pushed. The club got promoted that season, so I got released. They said to me that they just didn't think I was ready for a professional contract. I mean, no, they didn't think I was ready to play in the first team in the championship because they've been promoted to the championship. So I didn't get offered a professional contract. So yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow, and had to drop back down. I tried at a few professional football clubs after that. Didn't earn a contract. I had to drop down into non-league and like senior football. Really, really like I think that's probably one of the biggest wake-up calls I've had in my life in terms of what's required to really, really sustain success. I think when I was younger, like I said this to a lot of people, like I'd worked so hard to get to professional academies, and then once I've got there, that hard work that I'd put into the steps to get there, it stopped, and I was content and I was satisfied, and it showed on as to why I've been released. So like I took full responsibility. I never blamed or complained about it. It was just part of the process, and it was just a wake up call that I needed. And yeah, here I am today.
You are today, man. I've just managed to get some pictures of you, like as a young buck. I mean, look at him there, man.
Decent.
Proper young buck, man. Looking
Decent,
like a young Wesley Snipes there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, fully, man. Fully. Still young, man. Maturing.
Oh man. So yeah, talk to you about the journey from there. So again, potentially was that on the books of Brentford's, didn't quite work out. Clubs are sniffing around. Are we missing anything else in between before we get to the Rising Ballers bit, or is there still?
So yeah, from the age of 20, dropped into non-league, and
Yeah.
was in non-league for 3 years before Rising Ballers came along. So Rising Ballers only came along uh, summertime 2018. So from 20 to 23, finding my feet in non-league, played probably made like 100 appearances. But when I was 22, 23, I had an outstanding season at Harrow in the Ryman Prem, and won Player of the Year, Supporters Player of the Year, and I went on trial at Yeovil Town Football Club, and didn't earn a contract, and I was expecting to at least work my way up in terms of the footballing ladder, and nothing materialized. I had a previous representative, I won't name his name, but he really messed me up and put me in a lot of personal issues in terms of the contract that was put on the table and what I had to go through to get out of that contract. And then one of the players that used to be at Rising Ballers, I don't know if you was aware of Rising Ballers from the beginning, but Alfie Kane was one of our players from the beginning, and he played in at Harrow Borough. So long story short, every summer, like I say, for the last 3 years, I've got a lot of friends that play in the professional game and the non-league as well. And I bring them together. We do like a 7-a-side against each other, like just a session. So we'd come together summertime 2018, and I brought Alfie along, and Jamie was there as well. So I brought in like so many different players, and all we do is like a hour and a half quick blow, like after the season is done, just to keep our sharpness taken over, just a bit of extras. And then Alfie turned around and said to me, like, Melv, Jamie's my friend, like we've got this project called Rising Ballers, like we've got an Instagram page where we promote like young talent around the world, but they want to launch a men's team. So like we want you to be the goalkeeper and to be a part of the men's team, and we're gonna go through a different route. We're gonna go through social media and gain exposure through that. And initially, like I asked a lot of people about it, and like a lot of people were saying like go for it, like you never know. There isn't any other platforms like that trying to aspire to do something like that. So initially I did turn around and said to them I wasn't available, and then a month later when the first ever game was against Big T, I turned around and said to them, yeah, I want to play. Like, I haven't done my homework, and I thought to myself, like, something intuitively was just telling me like this is an opportunity. Like I've always been, in inverted commas, rated as a goalkeeper, but in non-league, if you haven't got an agent giving you leverage to get you professional football clubs, or you haven't got professional football clubs constantly looking at you, there isn't a lot of exposure in non-league. So I thought this is another avenue. Why not go for it? So I went for it. Playing against Beatties, never looked back. Like it's been crazy, man. But it's been something that I think the project has aligned with my sort of personal ambitions and goals, and it's just worked hand in hand. And yeah, man, here I am today.
Here you are today, man. Like it's been an interesting journey. Like I've only caught on like halfway through, probably like the second or third time you played Beatties. I haven't started to play Beatties, but it's interesting to see like you come on at the start when Rising Ballers was forming, and you know you've gone on to now sign for a club. And even I did an article the other day about 9 players that have gone on to sign professional contracts. Obviously, you're one of them, and like I suppose I think I speak to you the most out of all of them. Like you was kind of like the last original to be there. Like imagine like
yeah.
and you're like the OG Rising Ballers member, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I was the oldest player there as well. So like I was pretty much more of like showing like all of the boys and Rising Ballers, they're pretty much at the start of their journeys, innit? I had been in the academy system, I had come out of the academy system. So I had a bit of more experience behind me. So it was more of me like giving them that advice, being that role model and showing them like pretty much like what's possible if you're dedicated to the cause, really.
Yeah. I'm just gonna play a little clip that obviously I've seen from the documentary that you did with them as well. So I just want to play that, and then we can talk off the back of that.
I had the SC Dons game, and before the game, Dara was like to me, like, what's your plans for this season? I said to Dara, like, I'm thinking of just walking away from the game. Like, I feel like I've given it my best. Dara was like, nah, you can't give up. I don't believe you. Like, you're too motivating as an individual. You've put in so much work. Like, you can't walk away. I said to him, like, I'm not a player, Dara, I'm a goalkeeper. Like, I actually, in my head, like, was preparing to quit. No opportunities kind of opened up in the summer. I might not be given another opportunity. So, yeah, like, I just thought to myself, like, I've given it my all into football, tried to go through the non-league system. Hasn't worked out, but at least I've given it my best, and I was ready to walk away from it. Literally, the last second, I got a call of, like, it's all part of God's plan. Like, I've just been given another opportunity to keep going, man.
Yeah, man. So talk to me about that. You're about to pack it all in, man. You're just giving up. What's going on?
Yes. So I explained to you what happened. So last season at Kings Langley, I had an outstanding season. It was probably it's statistically based on clean sheets, performances, and stats. It's been best season, and I was on trial at Stevenage. Like a lot of people weren't aware of it. So we had a C-Cup game against Stevenage in February. And this was before lockdown. It was a 0-0 game. They had like 4 or 5 first team players playing. It was a 0-0 game, and then it went to penalties. I saved the penalty in the game, and then I saved the penalty in the penalty shootout. So it was 0-0. We won on penalties, and they invited me for a trial the following week. I was on trial for 2 weeks. Then the lockdown thing came through, and they said to me like they said to me they were gonna sign me. So I was expecting to have signed and then going to be relegated from League Two or not, because they were at that time they were bottom of League Two, and it was very likely that they were going to go into the National League and Macclesfield were going to stay up, but that got overturned. So they said to me they're going to sign me, and throughout the whole of lockdown, I was just pretty much preparing for that. And when football came back, for some strange reason, they just literally just changed their mind, and that disheartened me. I'll be honest. Like I thought I'm not gonna lie, I put everything into it last season, and like performance and stuff showed, and I thought I'd earn at least a deal there. So when that didn't work out, there was a lot of non-league options on the table. I'll be honest, in the summer, but I wasn't interested in that. I was trying to aim as high as possible, and then we played against SC Dons, and literally after the SC Dons game, Harrogate came up with 2 other clubs in the National League that are full-time professional clubs. I won't name the names, but they came up and Harrogate was the best option. So, like, obviously, before the SC Dons game, a few weeks before the SC Dons game, I was thinking to myself, the start of the season is about to happen very, very quickly. Like, I haven't been given an opportunity.
I think we're having some technical difficulties there with Melvin. Hopefully, you can get him back. In the meantime, we're going to play some of Melvin's highlights and hopefully get him back once he sorts out the technical difficulty. Going back. Yes, we're back. Unfortunately, Melvin hasn't joined us as of yet. Hopefully, he can come back and join us. But in the meantime, hopefully, you guys have been enjoying the chat. Obviously, been talking to Melvin Minter now at Harrogate Town. He's just talking about through his journey, basically, how he's gone from basically grassroots level through to everything else, and now he's at Harrogate Town. Oh, I think we might have him back.
Yeah, cut off, unfortunately. Yeah.
What's going on, man? You signed the deal, but you can't sort out the Wi-Fi. What's going on?
No, the Wi-Fi is fine, man. It just cut off. Yeah,
so yeah, about where you was at right then.
So, what was I saying? I was saying that, yeah. So, in the summer, I was disheartened over the Stevenage situation, and then it was it was a quick turnover from the end of last season to the start of this season, and no opportunities came up. Like I was kind of turning down like non-league options that I wasn't interested in. I was trying to aim as high as possible. So, yeah, like literally that week before the SC Dons game, like in my head, I was thinking about just literally just walking away from the game, like not playing non-league anymore, just doing a goalkeeping type of influencer thing with another goalkeeper that I knew. And I sat down with him, and it's crazy because I made the Instagram page, I made a YouTube page and a TikTok page. And then like after the SC Dons game, we were supposed to sit down again like a few weeks later and discuss it. And then literally out of the blue, got a message from my representative that 3 teams wanted me to go in on trial. Harrogate Town was one, and 2 other clubs that are in the National League Premier that are full-time professional clubs that I won't name, but Harrogate Town was the best option. So yeah, I went into Harrogate Town and thankfully got offered a deal.
There you go. As I said, at Harrogate Town now, there he is, the man himself at Harrogate Town as well. But you're currently out on loan, is that correct now?
Yeah. So signed a month loan at Darlington Town in the National North, and yeah, my loan actually ended yesterday. We won 2-0 yesterday. I kept a clean sheet. So just waiting to find out from the club whether I'm required back at Harrogate or not. So like since I've been at Harrogate for the first 5 games, I was on the bench. So yeah, like from where I've come from, it's been amazing, like sitting on a bench in the Football League and stuff. And yeah, like it's just made me hungry for more. Like I just want to play. So the club's had a steady sort of form since they've been in League Two the first time in their history, and for me, it's about getting that game time and staying ready for my opportunity when called upon. So there's 3 of us in terms of goalkeepers, and yeah, just got to keep striving. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is at the moment.
How are you finding your time up in the northeast? Is that where you are right now?
Yeah. So my football club plays me up in Bradford. So yeah, I've barely been up north in general, anyways, other than football. So yeah, like it's a different environment for me. It's away from home, but away from like distractions and stuff. I'm able to concentrate and just do my own thing. And yeah, like I'm just embracing it really. Like nothing really phases me. So if it was required for me to go to another country to carry on chasing aspirations, I would have done that. So like yeah, I'm just grateful, to be honest.
When you're on the bench, you said for Harrogate Town and stuff, are you seeing yourself like, oh, I could potentially be in there? Like I'm literally one, because obviously goalkeeping is different. Right? As a striker or any outfield player, you're more likely to get in quite quickly. Whereas as goalkeeper, you're literally waiting on someone's downfall or a turn in form, whatever. But you can literally just see yourself there. You're nearly there. You're there within touching distance. How does that feel? Bro?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Like it just shows that I believe in myself and I can compete at that level. And yeah, like you're only a suspension away or a loss of form or injury. Like by the end of the day, like as goalkeepers, we're always supporting each other anyway. So if I was playing, the other goalkeepers would be supporting me. And whilst they're playing and they've got their opportunity, I'm supporting them. And you want the best for them. So like at the end of the day, everyone's got their own time. Like you just have to stay ready. Like my opportunity could come in a month, it could come next week, but I need to make sure I'm ready. So when it comes, I take it. So that's pretty much what it is.
Just going quickly back to when you first signed, what was that like when you first got up there, did the handshakes and all the rest of it? What was that like, man?
When I first got up to Harrogate?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When I signed or when I was on trial? Well,
both really. Like, I don't know the process. So what happened when you trial and then when?
So it was mad because I after the SC Dons game, came up north, and because of all the COVID regulations and stuff, I had to do a COVID test. So I had to do one in London, and I had to do one at the training ground before I was allowed to train. But my COVID test took so long to come back. It usually takes a day. Mine took 3 days. So I stayed up north for a few days. Then I had to go back to London because my COVID test took too long to come. And when I come up to Harrogate as well, all the preseason games I'd finished because it was a quick transition to the start of the season. So the manager didn't have no opportunities to see me in a game. You could only see me in training. So I was trialing with 2 other goalkeepers as well. And had to go back to London, and I came back, trained for a week, done decent. Then I had to go back to London. Then I came back and tried for a few more days. And the club and the manager and the goalkeeping coach, they decided to sign me ahead of the other goalkeepers. And initially, the manager said it was a bittersweet moment because the manager said to me that he hasn't seen me in a game. He's judging me based off my sort of clips from last season and my profile, and they liked my character and my attributes and my ability. And he said to me, I've got potential. He wanted to see me for an initial month, so I signed for an initial month. And he just said to me, keep your head down, keep working hard. Your opportunity may come up at some point. So signed initially for a month, and it was a bittersweet moment because at 25 years of age, I thought to myself, this is my first professional contract. Like, this is amazing, but at the same time, anything can happen in a month. So like, I had to really, obviously, like, family was proud of me, friends were proud of me, everybody was buzzing for me. Like, it was amazing, but I had to kind of switch off away from the social media side of the aspect and just like stay focused on making sure that I secured something a bit more stable until the end of the season at least. So yeah, fast forward a month and signed that deal until the end of the season, and that's pretty much what it is.
Awesome. So you signed to the end of the season. What was it like when you was kind of getting shown around and all the rest of it? Like, you've gone from humble beginnings, Edmonton Rangers, is it? And then obviously all the other clubs across the journey to where you are now. What was that like?
Yeah, it's been amazing. There's been a lot of incredible like highs, and then there's been a lot of painful lows, and like that's pretty much what life is about. Like there's going to be so much highs and lows, successes, failures, and it's how you keep the right attitude, your character, how you persevere through it. So for me, like, I've just maintained that level-headedness, like whether I've been playing for England schoolboys or signing my first professional contract, or whether I've been rejected numerous amount of times, or I've been on a loss of form playing a game. Like, I've always just kept myself level-headed. Like, it's all part of the journey. I've just embraced it, and I feel like I've had to go through it for life, not even just for football, for life. So it sets me up for where I want to go to in life.
Yeah, no, I fully hear that, man. I mean, look, you signed now. What's the next goal? Obviously, is it to make first team appearances for Harrogate? Is it like what's the next goals?
So the next goal for me is to make my debut at some point this season, and to do well on loan if my loan is extended, and also to get a call up for the national side of my heritage, like Ghana. So it's a bit of interest there, and hopefully at some point this season to get a call up and then go from there, really.
That's interesting. You said Ghana. I thought you might would have said England, no? Or you just
I feel like I don't know. Like, from the age of 15, so I'll say 10 years ago, World Cup 2010, like seeing Ghana play at the World Cup and them going to the quarterfinals, like when I was in secondary school, like I've been in awe of just wanting to represent them, and that's pretty much where I say like my head and my heart is. So, and I feel like the pathway to playing for that national side is a bit more smoother than playing for England. For England, like, you have to be playing in the Premier League week in, week out. It's a bit more harder. And then for Ghana, like the pathway is a bit more clearer and smoother. So that's pretty much what my sort of aim is. Even though I have represented England at youth level in terms of England schoolboys, like I've from the age of 15, when I was watching that World Cup 2010, and I've seen Asamoah Gyan and Michael Essien, Suleiman Tari. Like I've kind of connected with that, and that's always been my aim ever since. Like one day to I'll be like very, very proud and make my family proud when that happens in due time.
I'm sure you're making them proud anyway, man. Like from what you're doing up to now, so don't worry about making them proud because you're doing 25 and got your contract as well, man. Listen, amazing stuff. One more thing, no worries, brother. One more thing I wanted to ask you as well. When I was watching a documentary, you mentioned something very interesting about black goalkeepers, like the perception of it and all the rest of it. Talk to me about that, because I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, so like I've always had it my entire life, like pretty much from when I started playing football. Black goalkeeper, like just a general stereotype. Black goalkeepers can't concentrate. Black goalkeepers are not good enough. Black goalkeepers are just athletic. So like I've always had like a chip on my shoulder. Really, like I've kind of just embraced. I've always thought to me.
Oh, I think we might have lost you again, Melvin. Melvin! Obviously, Melvin's up in the northeast. No disrespect to my northeast brothers, but I don't know what's going on. In the meantime, as well, we're just going to run past another clip, or the same clip, sorry, from that same documentary we were talking about. 2 seconds.
I had the SC Dons game, and before the game, Dara was like to me, like, what's your plans for the season? I said to Dara, like, I'm thinking of just walking away from the game. Like, I feel like I've given it my best. Dara was like, nah, you can't give up. I don't believe you. Like, you're too motivating as an individual. You've put in so much work. Like, you can't walk away. I said to him, like, I'm not a player, Dara. I'm a goalkeeper. Like, I actually, in my head, like, was preparing to quit. No opportunities kind of opened up in the summer. I might not be given another opportunity. So, yeah, like, I just thought to myself, like, I've given it my all into football, tried to go through the non-league system. Hasn't worked out, but at least I've given it my best, and I was ready to walk away from it. Literally the last second, I got a call of, like, it's all part of God's plan. Like, I've just been given another opportunity to keep going, man.
And he's back, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on with that Wi-Fi, bro? Seriously, man, come on.
Apologies about that. Yeah, so what was I saying? I was talking about the black goalkeeper perception, right?
Yeah.
So like my whole entire life, like it's just been something that's been out of my control. But like I've always had that stereotype being put against me. Like black goalkeepers can't concentrate, black goalkeepers aren't good enough, or black goalkeepers are just athletic. So yeah, like I've always had like a chip on my shoulder, and I've kind of embraced it and just had people judge me before they've even seen me play. And I've always just used that as like extra leverage and just to make me more determined and just proving people wrong. Like it's not the main reason why I play football. Like it's just part of the process, really. Like it's just something it's just a generation I've just grown up in. Black goalkeepers have just been undervalued and just underappreciated, and I'm just trying to overcome that obstacle and just change the narrative, really. Like that's pretty much what it is.
When you think about it, there's not that many around. Like I don't know if when you was growing up, was there many that you looked up to? I mean, obviously you see Mendy now playing for Chelsea. He's in the Premier League now. So like, is there?
Dida was the one I pretty much looked up to. Brazilian goalkeeper that won the World Cup and the Champions League, but there wasn't really many role models that you could look up to and relate to. So like at the end of the day, like I feel like maybe it's my responsibility as one of them representatives to obviously overcome them obstacles and open doors for the next generation coming through, so they don't have to deal with pretty much what I've dealt with. But it's never been something that's fazed me. Like it's more of something that's just made me more determined, really, like to stay hungry and to keep persevering. Really. So like if I always thought to myself, why not be like one of the very few that can overcome that obstacle and open doors for others. Like, and the other day someone was telling me, like my friend was telling me, like there hasn't been an example of any black goalkeepers from non-league that have become professionals. And I thought to myself, like, wow, that's probably true. I don't know any goalkeepers that have come out of non-league that are black and become professional. So like he said to me, you're probably the first one, and if that's the case, then like fair play. Like I'm not trying to just be a goalkeeper that's just come out of non-league and become a professional. I'm just trying to excel, and hopefully like that's just the start of the process for me really. Like goalkeepers can play until 40 years of age. Like there's plenty of examples of goalkeepers playing into their 40s. So for me, like although I've got a lot of experience behind me in terms of having made over 200 non-league appearances.
Oh gosh, I think we might have lost him again. Right, guys, just one more time. He's going to run another clip. In fact, just going to show some more highlights from Melvin, and then just hopefully come back to him for the third time, and then might have to call it a day after that. Okay. Hopefully we can get Melvin back for the last couple of questions. But in the meantime, again, hopefully you guys have been enjoying this conversation with Melvin and the previous conversation that we had with AFTV as well. And even in fact, the other ones as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, and make sure obviously you watch all the content that we have. And we've got Melvin back. Hopefully, yes, this is the final time. Come on, man. Sort that Wi-Fi, brother.
Come on. I will do. So yeah, like it's, as I was saying before, like it's just made me more determined to just overcome the obstacles and just open doors for the next generation. And like in life, like there's a lot of people that go through so much stuff, and for me, like I've just embraced it. Like it's a privilege for me to do what I love every single day. So if it's part of the process, then yeah, you just got to keep grinding, man.
Yeah, man. Look, I'll keep the next question, the last one, because I don't know if you're coming and out again. But just any sort of advice to anyone watching this who's a young goalkeeper or a young player in general? I mean, any advice to like some of the rising ballers that likes the new cohort that are coming through? Like any advice to them at all?
I was gonna.
Oh yeah. I think we're lost Melvin again one more time. Zeno saying hardest keeper in the scene. I agree, man. Like when I've done a lot of these combined 11s, people mention Melvin as well as obviously mentioning Big G, but obviously now he's not out in the scene. Big G probably gets mentioned the most. Shout out to Barnet Sunday League watching if you still are. It's great to see Melvin get the move to Harrogate Town. Best of luck for everyone at the Barnet Sunday Football League, and I'm sure that is echoed amongst everyone else as well. Yeah, unfortunately, we're having some technical issues with Melvin, in fact. But, well, it won't affect his move. Oh, I think we've got him back one more time.
Yeah, I've gone closer to the Wi-Fi because where my room's upstairs,
yeah,
it's quite far away from the Wi-Fi. So I think it might be better now. I'm right next to it.
But now we can't even see. We genuinely can't see you.
Hold on. Let me go inside. Hold on.
There we go.
Can you see me now?
I can see you now. Yep. Okay, so we was literally just rounding up and saying, you know, any advice to any young person watching this. We've had, you know, some well wishes coming through throughout the chat as well. I'll just get them up whilst I'm thinking some kind words. I mean, Zeno says hardest keeper in the scene, so shout out to Zeno. And then obviously the Barnet Sunday Football League, the league that Rising Ballers, your former team plays in, was saying it's great to see you get the move to Harrogate Town. So, you know, a lot of people wishing you well. But any words of advice for any young people watching this at all?
Yeah, so pretty much the same advice I pretty much give most of the time. Like you need to believe in yourself all the time, because like football is a game of opinions. Like somebody might say that you're not good enough for one side and you go to a better side and gain opportunity. So like you get 10, 20 no's, that 21st yes or that 30th yes might change your life. So like you just got to keep going, believe in yourself. Secondly, you need to work hard. Like if you really want to achieve what you want to achieve in life, you need to outwork everybody around you. Like you really need to have a grind sort of mentality. So like you really need to just put in extra amount of work that nobody will ever know. But them extras, like doing enough is not enough anymore. Like you have to outwork and do extras. And then the last thing I'll say is you need results as well. Like football is it's like since you've had like Messi and Ronaldo score ridiculous amount of goals, I feel like stats are a big thing a part of football now. So you need results. Like as a goalkeeper, you need clean sheets behind you because that's what you're judged on ultimately at the end of the day with your team. Like it contributes to your team winning. A striker, you need to score goals forward. You need to score goals midfielder. You need to be a creative player towards contributing to your team winning. A defender, clean sheets as well. So like you need to like have stats and have results behind your work. Like if you're not executing on what you need to do, then you give someone an excuse not to give you an opportunity. So that's pretty much my advice.
There you go, man. You have it from the man himself. Once again, I'm going to say I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations on your move, bro. Hopefully you stay out of the northeast for a while because that Wi-Fi is dreadful, bro. But again, it'd be good. I'm just looking forward to seeing you, put on the Harrogate Town top, and then I'll be like, yo, the guys made it. Like you've made it already, but again, just to see you in between the sticks, that'd be amazing, bro, to see, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you guys for watching and bearing with us. And guys, see you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and take care. Peace.
God bless.